Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, April 8th, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I am worthy of the whole experience. And today we are coming down from a full moon in Libra. In fact, I am recording this just right before we hit the full moon energy. So it usually takes a few days for that full moon energy to integrate itself, to wear off. I usually end up with a full moon over is what I call it. So take it easy on yourself. We have the moon shifting today from Libra into Scorpio, and that's definitely going to be bringing up some lessons. As the moon finishes up in Libra, it is meeting with Jupiter, Pluto, and Pallas. We have these squares going on. And I want to remind you that one of the big lessons of Libra is honoring the harmony within. And yet we come up with this square, there's resistance to authority that we may have given over, or even harmony that we may have given over outside of ourselves. So be very aware of any shoulds, any shouldy projections, none of those shouldy projections coming from outside of yourself that pull you out of your center. How do you come back into your center? I just did my patron group, and one of the things that kept coming up for this full moon energy was Queen of Swords energy, or putting down boundaries, being willing to set those boundaries. And that's a good lesson with the moon in Scorpio. So just be very aware of that energy. What do you need to come into balance, into center, into harmony, in and for yourself? And again, what are you being called to do? So often we'll let that authority guide us, and yet there's this inner authority, we all have it, that's like, hey, this would be really great if you listen to this and do this. And this doesn't mean irresponsible energy. This is really the authority of your higher self, like the part of you that is you at your best. So, some intense energies coming in with the moon in Scorpio. So besides boundaries, one of the things that happens with the moon in Scorpio is fear energy. The Scorpio energy can not attack. It definitely doesn't attack our root chakra, but it brings us into that, root chakra energy. Root chakra is survival stuff, and so it can bring us into the fears. And with the moon in Scorpio, we're going to have some squares going on with the newly Aquarius energies that we've got going on. Now, in these squares, we may start feeling the feeling of fear, and then we'll be like, oh no, Aquarius, I need to have high vibrations and try to stuff the fears. And that's not how we face the fears. What's that analogy for fear? Forget everything and run. That's what fear can make us do. And I like my analogy for fear, which is face everything, or no, feel everything and rise. That's what it is. I know there's one that's face everything and something, but mine is feel everything and rise. If the fears are coming up, which it's very fair that they could be in this time, and there's no shame in any of that, this is a calling to a wounded part of yourself. We all have old stuff. We all have situations that have caused trauma. And so there's this part of ourselves that just want things to be okay, and was like, oh, I don't want to go there. So if you are feeling any fear, if you have any fears rise about your survival, about your place in the world, about your needs being met, this is the time to allow yourself to go there, feel that, nurture that energy. So that's going to be up with this. Speaking of healing, Mars in Aquarius, which is where we want to be actionable in regards to vibrational energy, like, oh yes, this supports me, this doesn't. Mars in Aquarius is connecting to Chiron in Aries, so even more, this gives us the opportunity to sort out, yes, this vibrates, yes, this feels like me. One of the things we all need to be very aware of with all this energy is how much we can take on other people's stuff. I actually get a sense of how calm I am when I start feeling everybody else's panic in this. And it always reminds me, I don't have to take that on and process it. So be very aware that this may be a good day for clearing, cleansing, or bringing about the awareness of how much we all, whether you feel like you're an empath or not, we all feel each other's stuff to some degree or another. Some feel it a little bit more, some feel it a little bit less, but we all do work with each other, feed off of each other to some extent. So be very aware of that energy going on. So moon shifts into Scorpio 1:17 p.m. Pacific time. So there's that void moon in the middle of the day. You might hit that lull, that rut where you're like, oh, I have no energy. That's how I usually feel the void moons. That plus full moon over, it might be kind of a quiet day. But those quiet days are ripe for transformation. Do I have the transformation card? I thought I did, but I do not. So if you can take it easy, and if you feel that need to take it easy, please do. So moon square Saturn, moon square moon opposite Uranus, and square Mars. Oh, so we've got this kind of T-square going on with these fixed signs. Anything that's coming up that you don't want to face, this may be a major block that you can potentially move through. Also, if you remember yesterday's scope, I talked about like shocking energy, electrocuting energy. This Scorpio energy is bringing that up even more so. It may be that your root chakra is finally feeling the shock of it. How can you tend to yourself? How can you work with yourself to help heal, again, whatever these feels are that are coming up? Moon in Scorpio is also connecting to the North Node in Cancer. We are meant to feel it, to heal it. This is the process. How are you being called to nurture and show up for yourself in and through this? Let's see. Moon square Mars. I think, again, I just keep going back to, like, you know, that inner battle. Like, I don't want to feel that thing. We humans, we have, like, these two parts that kind of are polarities. It's like, I don't want to feel the thing, and yet we as humans came to really feel and experience, and there's a part of you that's having this situation because there's this part of you that wants to experience it, that wants to feel it. I don't mean, I'm not going to go there. Anyway, go to the place where this has the lesson for you. Go to the place where you feel it and you can rise through it. That is the antidote. That is the way through any of the tempestuousness of these energies. So let's go through the cards. You don't have to take other people's shouldy advice. I like my should jokes that I make. I also feel like this is a major completion energy for us as we lay some of these boundaries by standing in our authority and not taking on the shoulds. So be very aware of that. Then we've got this going on. This to me feels like feeling the fears and rising. So this is the work we have to do. We got to work with ourselves to move through whatever it is coming up. This is kind of us, like, okay, I will reach out my pinky to kind of work through this thing. But this is where we've been at. It's been repressed. It's been stuffed. So just keep reaching out. Do the work. If it's showing up for you, it's there for a very good reason. So I'm going to leave that at this for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you, and you do have the power. Namaste.